What's up, you guys? It's Hayden, and today's video topic is, you guessed it, the ban on trans people serving in the US military. It sounds so awful to say that out loud, but that is the reality of America right now, as you all probably know by now, as you should know by now. So on Wednesday, Trump informed the entire world through Twitter that he was going to be banning trans people from serving in the US military. And so we'll go straight to his Twitter page, and you guys can see, after consultation with my generals and military experts, please be advised that the United States government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in any capacity in the US military. Our military must be focused on decisive and overwhelming victory and cannot be burdened with the tremendous medical costs and disruption that transgender in the military would entail. Thank you. I love how he adds thank you at the end of it, like we're all gonna say you're welcome, when it's like the opposite. So Trump tweeted this out with absolutely no facts or numbers to back up what he's saying. But when you look at the numbers of it, it is really small. And I know a lot of things are cycling around the internet right now, and I always go to credible news sources because I want to get facts and not more lies. But in 2016, the RAND Corporation did a study on this exact topic, and they estimated that there is roughly 1,300 to 6,600 people currently serving in the US military. And so for medical costs with that, it would increase between $2.4 million to $8.4 million. And I know that seems like a lot, but when you take $8.4 million and you break that down into the percentage of how much it would increase, it would only increase by 0.13%. So that's really not a lot at all. But we can look at this in a different perspective, and I know that this has been cycling around the internet the past couple days, but I'm going to include a graph just so I can show you what I'm talking about and what everyone else is talking about. The US military spends $84 million on erectile dysfunction medications. That is 10 times the amount of what they would spend on trans healthcare. Out of that $84 million, $41.6 million is spent on Viagra for erectile dysfunction. And that's 5 times the amount for what would be covered for trans-related healthcare. But my big problem with it is the fact that look at how small this is. $8.4 million compared to that $84 million. Not to mention that the United States spends the most amount of money on their military than any other country in the entire world. Here's a little visual so you guys can see that as well. Worldwide, these are the countries that spend the most on their military. And as you can see, the United States is the largest amount. In fact, the United States spends more than the rest of these 7 countries combined. So that says something about their spending. And see, that's why this all frustrates me so much, because this is not about money. It never was about money. Just like the bathrooms were not about bathrooms. It never was about the bathrooms. This is about othering trans people, and it's dehumanizing trans people. And that's where I have the biggest issue with this entire thing, is that Trump has historically been so two-faced with the entire LGBT community, actually two-faced with the entire world. But seriously, there's photos of him holding up a pride flag saying LGBT people for Trump or something like that. And he even verbally spoke on camera saying that he was going to do everything in his power to protect the LGBT community. But let's just take a look at what he has done since he's been in office for the LGBT community. In January of 2017, all LGBT content was removed from the US government website. In February of 2017, Trump rescinded protections for transgender students on their use of restrooms in public schools. In March of 2017, he revoked protections for LGBTQIA+ workers against discrimination in higher hiring and employment. In April of 2017, he dropped a federal lawsuit over North Carolina's statewide prohibition on LGBTQIA+ equality. In June of 2017, he failed to recognize June as Pride Month. And of course, in July of 2017, he tweeted that the US government will no longer accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in the US military. So how is he helping the LGBT community? He's not. He never has, and he never will. He just says things and does things so that he would get people's vote, and it worked. I mean, I have loved ones that voted for him, and they've told me that they voted for him and that it was nothing, against anything, and that he was gonna protect LGBT people. I'm getting a little salty, so I'm gonna talk about the positives of this. So what are our positives out of this entire crapshoot right now? Our positives are that we do live in America and that we do have soldiers that are fighting for our freedoms. And so our freedoms are our freedom of speech. And we can write letters because this is a democracy, and so we can let our voices be heard. And a lot of people are letting their voices be heard right now in a lot of different ways. And I've seen it on both sides, people who are for the ban and people who are against the ban. I will say I have seen a common trend for people who are for the ban, and it's primarily out of fear. It's people who don't know much about trans issues, trans topics, trans people. They don't really know anything. And then that leads into them being really uneducated about trans issues and trans topics. But then it's also things like the bathroom issue. So that's cycling into this as well. I've heard people saying that they don't want to shower next to a trans person. And that's fine, that's their opinion and whatnot, but I will say most trans people aren't going to want to shower next to a cis person to begin with, so just saying. And then I've heard people say that trans people are mentally unstable and that they are not qualified or competent for the job. That's just not true, because if they weren't qualified for it, how would they even be a soldier right now? And it's really insulting, and I can't fully speak for it because I am not a soldier and I am not a veteran, but speaking as a trans person, it is incredibly insulting that somebody is saying that you're not qualified and good enough for this just because you are trans. But yeah, like I said before, let your voice be heard. Write letters to the White House. Write letters to your congresspeople. Let them know how you feel about this ban and how it could impact your life, how it can impact a lot of people's lives. Because the way I look at it right now is there's thousands of people that are going to be out of a job. And there's thousands of people that don't know what they're going to do to make ends meet and to feed their family. And those people are people that have fought for us. And that's, I don't know, it's just really unbelievable. So thank you to all who have served in the US military, and a special thank you to my trans brothers and sisters. My heart is with you right now. Like I said before, I know I can't fully relate, but I will do everything I can to make an impact, to change something, because this can't happen. But thank you to everyone who has watched this video, and if you liked the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and you can also share it. I'll do a video soon. I got a few up my sleeve, or up my arm in this case, but until then, I hope you all have a safe and wonderful few days ahead. All right, thanks guys, bye.